Greetings, Masanawana. We are back once again with another installment of the Yellow Corner. I guess was really boring. No, every 2 or 3 days, we back with another installment of the Yellow Corner. And we mumble and mumble and mumble. But yeah, man, it is what it is. We bring you the preview of our Game Week 22 DSTV Premier League matches. We host Skukune United on Tuesday night, 7:30 at Loftus. Rapelanga Rizontlong, how are you?
Ke monate a izo wena.
Why do you say you're Munat? Is it your go-to first line, Horeki Munat, even when the team has lost the first leg of the CAF Champions League semi-final? Or Munat, you're just saying it.
Ke grand mfethu. A team's defeat doesn't affect my mood that much, man. There are other things outside football that keeps one happy. So I just like monate, I mean it to monate. But obviously, team is but I'm good, man. I'm fine. I'm doing well.
Spoken like a man who's madly in love, but yeah, story for another day. I'm okay, man. Very disappointed by the results, like everyone, but I'm okay. We move on. We'll talk about the CAF Champions League on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm not sure if you logged on to Twitter after game this morning. Hey, man, came to Palestine in Israel. But yeah, man. Raps, a lot has been said with regards to low blocks, teams that play the low block. Last week after Real Madrid knocked out again Manchester City in the CAF Champions League, Rodri came out and spoke about how there was only one team in that match. We've spoken about it, we've criticized it in Nalwena. Coach Gulani has been talking about it. My question now is are we being unfair to these teams that play the low block? Is it fair to expect every team to play on the front foot, be offensive, or we need to accept that it's their strategy that they come up with, and we need to they found a way of maximizing their chances of winning the game against us when they play low block. Now we should find a different ways to break that low block. Are we being unfair to these teams?
Yeah, no, I think we are unfair. I think we need to accept the situation. Not every team will play open, and not every team will play how according when some teams have their own strategies, they have their own plans. So I think we are unfair because of if you complain about the low block, that's what they've prepared for during the training session. So you can't expect them to change on the match day because of since from day one of the training session they've prepared to play a low block. So as a team that's going to face a team playing a low block, you need to find answers in order to unlock that low block. Because of at the end of the day, you want to win and you want to put the ball on the back of the net. So you need to come up with the solutions and try to unlock the low block and get some goals. Because of not every team has the same talent that you have in your team. So some teams, because of what they have in their squad, they are forced to play certain formation or or implement certain style of play. So sometimes it depends on the type of players that you have or the game model of the coach.
Yeah, I agree, man. I've criticized these teams, but to be honest, I don't think we're being fair, myself included, because just because now we've always supported a team that has always been playing a good, entertaining football. Yes, I think this stems from the fact that we as supporters want entertainment and we feel deprived of that entertainment when one of the teams there just sits on a low block and play on transition. But if it gets them results, then
Yeah.
so be it. It's their thing. So, I mean, I look at in recent weeks, the coach here at Tottenham, when the season started and Tottenham fans were happy with Ange Postecoglou. He's playing the Tottenham way, playing on the front foot, taking risks and stuff like that. Well, in recent weeks, they've started criticizing the very same coach, saying where he's naive. He only thinks about going forward and not, the defensive side of things. So yeah, man, I think yes, it's our preference to prefer entertaining front foot football. But we need to accept that not everyone is going to play the way we want them to play. They found a solution to the problem that we bring to them. We also need to find solutions to the problem that they bring to us, man. Let's touch on Skukune, man. They've been really, really doing well in the last year or so. They reached the Nedbank Cup final last season. They're doing great they've been doing good in the league this season, man. I mean, they currently fourth. They've played 24 games, won 11 of those, drew 6 of them, lost 7, goals scored 28, goals against 20, a goal difference, I want to 8. They're currently on 39 points. They're a point behind the team that's number 2, which is Orlando Pirates, and they still have a chance to qualify for the Champions League. Coach Hlolo Siemale, I always call him to Mtambo, Kolam Mtambo. I don't know because of Lindam, because of Kanakima Kolam Mlambo. I always forget his name. Yeah. They won the coach and player of the month for February, March. 10 before the recent 5 games, they went 5 out of 5. Won 5 of their 5 games. What do you think this boils down to? Why are they doing so well? Because for now, I think it's all down to good management. I think one, they've assembled a very good squad. It might not be the best in the league, but their management went out and got them good players. Né? And I think they take care of their players. In terms of the monetary side of things. I've never had players that's Kukune or read about players that's Kukune complaining about the salaries. In a similar way, they are similar to Stellies. I think Stellies gets a lot of credit. They actually don't get a lot of credit, if we're being honest. But I think sometimes we forget about Kukune. So I think it boils down to management. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think if everyone within the team plays their role very well, I think the team is likely to do well. If the management they do their part very well, I think the team are likely to succeed to succeed or do well or get positive results. So I think with Skukun, I think the management have done very well. They've signed a couple of players who are good, and also they have experienced players. And appointing Hlonolo CM, I think it has helped them because of Hlonolo is experienced as coach a number of teams in the PSL. So he knows the PSL and he knows the players and the opponents as well. So I think Skukure, they need to maintain that standard because of everyone can be number 4, but the toughest job to do is to keep that standard for the season and ensure that you don't fall back. And if you do, you don't go outside the top 8. So I think for them, the fight should be we stay in the top 8. After securing that top 8 spot, then they challenge for the third spot that will push them to go to the Comfort Cup.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Raps, we've not lost a game this season. We've not won. I've tried to avoiding touching on this subject. Yeah, being invincible, and yeah, is our potential invincibility danger in this game? Can they beat us?
And they are on form, but I don't think they could beat Sundowns. I think the good result that they can get out of this game, I think it is a draw. But getting 3 points as Kukun, I think it will be tough for them. But they have done very well in their past few games. They have managed to beat the big teams in the PSL. So I think for us it will be much difficult. But that means that we shouldn't underestimate them because of they are on form. and also they've got the rhythm. And I believe beating Sundowns for them will give them more confidence going to the next games, man.
Yeah, I think it is possible or they can beat Arsenal, but it doesn't mean it will happen, and I don't think it will happen. They're doing fairly well, man. Even though in
Yeah,
the last five they didn't do as great as the previous five. Man. But the thing is, everyone's motivation now is to be that team that ends Sundowns' unbeaten run. It's their motivation, and then you take into account that our focus will definitely be on the second leg of CAF Champions League. I do not care what anyone tells me. We're taking a game at a time. The mind is not stupid. I'm sorry for using that word, but the mind at the back of the head, the focus is the CAF Champions League semi-final. But I do not think they will beat us. Let's talk about what we likely to see in this match. I think they have a very stable lineup. They hardly make more than three changes to their lineup. They have a stable system, a 4-4-1-1 system, which has Gambo playing as a false nine, a new position that he's been doing really, really well in, and then he has Weber just behind him, and because they both have played central midfield, it's guys Van engine. They have endurance, because they can run around more. They can defend from the top, actually. Let me put it that way. And they have winners who give them a pace and directness. The winners are one of the, in a way, old school wingers who go at the fullback, but they don't restrict them on, you must stay on the wide channels, and you can come inside. More so Mube, who finds himself in that zone 14 area, and you saw the goal that he scored against Pirates. I think he gets inside a lot more than Mokwane. Mokwane is the one who plays a lot on the side, and then they play guy double pivot Mukojo le Mkhize, but Mukojo didn't play. They played Kanaki Mamfano. Mchali, he used to play for DDC Pirates. They played, so they always play a double pivot, Bonane. And I think Ntambo is going to give us serious problems, because who marks him? Is he the central defensive midfielders person, or is he supposed to be taking care of one of the two center backs? I think it will be difficult to take care of him. And I think we will rotate, there will be a few changes, and this will only go one of two ways. One, the players that are given a chance might go out there to do to in a way prove a point, or they deserve to be starters, And two, if we do rotate, it might be broken. There won't be fluidity at all, because these players that don't normally play. So I hope it is the former rather than the latter in this situation. The guys that are given a chance have a good game. And we normally play guy in midfield three, whereas they always play a double pivot. And in most instances, we play a left back who can invert, And I think if we do play a left back that can invert, it means in most cases it will be 4v2 in midfield. We will overpower them in that midfield. And their defensive line struggles with keeping a straight line. It is easily broken, and I know what's the cause of this. It's because, especially Cardoso, he presses and comes into midfield. It's because that double pivot, when they play opponents that have numerical superiority centrally, it forces him to want to press and help the midfield. And as he does that, teams quickly play the balls behind them with moves such as the third man run. We saw a similar move, that goal that they considered against Stellenbosch. You must check how far Cardoso is pressed. So I think we can get behind their defense. I don't think their defense is the strongest in the league. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think Stellenbosch, their defense,
Skukuni,
they struggle.
Skukuni.
I mean, they struggle to defend the space between the defenders and the goalkeeper, and that's where the opponents get the most of the opportunities from, as well as in TNT. I think previously, in a couple of games, he has been struggling in terms of managing the space behind him because of the opponents. Sometimes they target the space behind him because of sometimes he get too adventurous and he doesn't manage his space on the left. And I've been impressed, kind of impressed with their midfield. I think they know how to. They are flexible in terms of when they attack. Mkojo and Mkize stays to give cover, and Weber pushes a little bit forward. But if they are being attacked and they have to defend, Weber can join that midfield too and become straight. And against Orlando Pirates, I think they did very well. When Nda and Sisane where the build up was about to start, Weber will retreat and join Kize as well and coach. And I think they managed to cut some of the attacks from Orlando Pirates. And when they get ball, Weber has to be closer to Mutambo to give him support as well as their wingers who are Nube and Mukwana as well. And also against Cape Town City, I saw something different from them where they applied pressure and forced Godine to make a mistake, and it was an easy tap in for from them. When that is unlike them because of sometimes when the team have the ball on the back, they let the team advances with the ball. As soon as the team gets closer to the center line, that's when they start to pick up players and apply pressure. But against Cape Town City, I think they did something different and they benefited from it. So I think if they can try to apply those traps and aggression in terms of pressing the defense of the opponents, I believe they can get something. But it will depend on their organization in terms of pressing because of if you press without organization, you are likely to be exposed and the teams will use the space behind you. And as well as I think playing Mutambwese number 9, I think it has helped guys like Mube and Mukwana because of they are able to shine because of Mutambo get out of that space between the two center backs of the opposition. He drops a little bit deep, and that means the space for Mube and Mukwana. Look at the first goal that they scored against Reno Pirates. Tambo dropped deep and he drawed one of the center backs of Orlando Pirates with him, and Mube managed to make that run behind the defense of Orlando Pirates. So I think playing Tambo has helped them in terms of the movement and also other players around him being able to shine. Because of if you play a guy like Ihuzu wants supply, he stays inside the box and wants the ball to come to him, but Mtambo drops a little bit deep and collects the ball and makes other players play. And also he's good on the ball and he has the combination play abilities and his finish. He's a good finisher inside the
The
box,
good
like
finisher.
on left,
Very, very
on
good.
right. He can score good goals. And 2 seasons back, when we played them,
Them,
Peter
eh,
Mukaba, he scored a beautiful
yes,
goal. So I think, as much as he's not that number 9 striker, but he has those traits of being a number 9 because of he can score, he can pass, and he can create spaces for other players. Uh, I think for Sundowns, man, I think like you have said, we're expecting a couple of changes because of the second leg semi-final achieve. But even though we are likely to make changes, I still expect us to win because of we have good players that can come and give us a good result. And also in terms of our defense, I believe we have to deal with the mobility of the front three of Skukune and also be able to compete in the middle. Try to ensure that you don't get outnumbered when Weber joins the midfield two of Mukojo and specifically the midfield partnering Mukojo. We need to ensure that we compete and we win the midfield battle because of some of their chances comes from them overloading the midfield and also having numerical superiority. And also, I think because of they can't defend the space between the defense and the goalkeeper. I think we should try and catch them by using the space behind the defense and the goalkeeper. And you spoke about Godino being dragged out of the position easily. I think it can create space for us so that we're able to capitalize and get some goals from those moments. Man.
Yeah, well spoken, Raps. Well put. Your lineup?
My lineup, yeah, no, there are a lot of changes, man. I will start Denis Onyango. I wanted to start Peters, but he was on an injury list. So I'll start Denis Onyango. I left Zuko Mdunyelwa. I'll have Brian
Zuko is injured,
Onyango.
Papa. Zuko is injured. He's out.
But
Okay, he started running on the grass, Lily Zumul,
all
last
yeah,
week.
so
Yeah, they
yeah.
started running, but I don't think they've started doing. Okay, go with Zuko. Maybe he might play. Maybe he might play.
I'll start Zuko. I'll have Brian Onyango with Lubusa as my center backs. I'll have Terrace Mashoko as my left back. My middle three will be Mkulisi, Mabue, Mayema. Then my front row will go with Mabena, Mendieta, SLS. I'm caught in between Serino and Matthews, man. But I'll start Serino, man.
All right. Hey, now I have a few changes, but not as many as you. I have Onyango starting. I have Mudau starting at right back. I have Mvala, Lili Busa. I have Lunga at left back. I have Obas at 6. My 2 8s, Kim Kuli, Selma Ema. I have Serino, Mendiet, and Shalulili up top. Score prediction?
I think the game will finish 1-1.
I'll go for a 2-1 win, man. I need a positive into going into the second leg semi-final. And yeah, that's that Masandawana. That's another preview of the Yellow Corner. As you can see, I'm on my way to church to pray for this team because they need prayers to finish chances on Friday. The next time you will see us will be on Wednesday. Yes, we bring you the preview of our biggest game of the season, the second leg of the CAF Champions League semi-final at Loftus. Until then, Shap Masandawana, Shap Mdorish.
Shap Masandawana.